Okay, so there is some huge news breaking in the world of finance, and you're gonna want to hear this. Nasdaq, one of the absolute pillars of the US stock market, has officially filed a proposal with the SEC. And what for? To bring blockchain technology right into the heart of Wall Street. So yeah, let's dive into this and figure out what it all really means.
I mean, just think about it for a second. What if the shares you own, say in Apple or Tesla, weren't just a line item in your brokerage account? What if each one was a unique digital token, recorded and secured on a blockchain? It's a pretty wild question, right? But with Nasdaq's new plan, this is moving from a someday idea to a very, very near-term reality.
All right, before we get ahead of ourselves, let's make sure we're all on the same page. What even is a tokenized security? Well, the simplest way to think about it is like a digital deed for your share of a company. Look, we already live in a world where stocks are just digital entries, so this isn't about going back to paper. Tokenization is just a new and frankly a much more advanced way of digitally proving that you own what you own.
And right here, this is the core of the change. Traditionally, when you own a share, it's tracked on these private centralized databases that big institutions control. A tokenized share, though, gets recorded on a distributed ledger or a blockchain. Now, the absolutely crucial thing to get here is that the asset itself, your actual share of the company, it doesn't change one bit. Not its value, not its rights. The only thing that changes is the method of keeping score.
So that begs the question, right? Why is Nasdaq, a cornerstone of the traditional system, making this huge move right now? Well, it really boils down to navigating between a massive opportunity and a very real risk. You've got this powerful pull from the market wanting innovation, but at the same time, there's a serious danger if that innovation happens without any rules.
On one side, you have the pull of innovation. The market sees some incredible potential here. Blockchain technology promises some pretty serious upgrades. We're talking faster settlement times, unbelievably clear audit trails, and just a smoother process from the moment you click buy to when you actually own the share. There's a ton of excitement about what this could unlock.
But, and this is a big but, there's the other side of the coin, the risk of chaos. Imagine a kind of Wild West scenario, where a bunch of different unregulated platforms are all creating their own tokenized versions of, say, Microsoft stock. You'd get a totally fractured market, liquidity would be a mess, you'd lose transparency, and the price of a token could actually get disconnected from the real stock price. That's the chaos Nasdaq is stepping in to prevent.
And this brings us to Nasdaq's really elegant solution here. Instead of trying to fight innovation or letting it run wild outside the system, they're proposing to bring it inside. They want to integrate all the benefits of blockchain with the trusted, secure, and regulated infrastructure that has been powering our markets for decades. It's the best of both worlds.
So what does this actually look like for you, the investor? Well, it's surprisingly simple. You'd place your order on Nasdaq exactly like you do today. The only difference? You might see a little checkbox to select tokenized form for how it settles. That's it. From there, Nasdaq and the DTC, that's the central clearinghouse that handles basically all stock settlements in the US, they do all the work on the back end to record your ownership as a token.
And listen, don't just take my word for it. This is a core part of their whole plan. Chuck Mack, a senior VP at Nasdaq, put it perfectly. He basically reassures everyone that from a trader's perspective, nothing you care about is changing. The market functions, the way you trade, the protections you have, it all stays exactly the same.
And this right here, this is probably the most important takeaway for any investor. Let's just run down the list. Is the value the same? Yep. Are your rights to dividends and voting identical? Absolutely. Are all the investor protections you count on still there? You bet. It even has the same market ID. In every single way that actually matters to you as an owner, it is the exact same share. It's just being recorded on a new, more modern ledger.
Okay, so we've covered the what, the why, and the how. Now let's look to the horizon and talk about what's coming next, starting with the timeline for when this could actually happen. And this isn't some far-off futuristic dream. The proposal was filed this year, 2025. Then there's a period for public comments and getting the whole industry lined up. And after that, Nasdaq is projecting that the very first token-settled trades could go live as early as late 2026. Yeah, this is moving fast.
Now this is where things get really, really interesting. This quote hints at the much bigger picture. See, putting a stock on a blockchain isn't actually the end goal, it's the starting gun.
Once you get a highly regulated asset like a stock onto a blockchain, you open up a whole universe of new possibilities for what you can do with it.
And that's the real game changer here. Nasdaq's plan is about more than just stocks. By proving you can successfully tokenize something as complex and regulated as a security, you're basically creating the blueprint, the instruction manual for tokenizing all sorts of other real-world assets, or RWAs. All of a sudden, things like a piece of real estate, a work of fine art, or a stake in a private company could be represented and traded on a blockchain. This isn't just a tweak to the stock market, it's laying the foundation for a massive economic shift.
You know, the potential for tokenizing real-world assets is just gigantic, and real estate is one of the biggest and most exciting examples. If that idea has sparked your curiosity and you want to dive a little deeper, there are actually some fantastic resources out there. These 2 books, for example, are a great starting point. They offer a really practical guide to everything from the basic fundamentals to the actual strategies for investing in tokenized real estate.
So that leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? Nasdaq is paving the superhighway for tokenizing the stock market. But once that's done, once this technology is proven on the world's biggest financial stage, what asset do you think will be next? Real estate? Art? Private companies? The possibilities are pretty incredible to think about.